Want to show off your Philly pride without saying a word? Philly Goat has you covered. From tees, hoodies, shoes, and hats, their gear screams Philly louder than an Eagles fan at the vet. Whether you're tailgating in South Philly or trying to flex down the Jersey Shore, do it in style. Hit up phillygoat.com, use the promo code Jim Montgomery, and get 10% off your order. Philly Goat, because being Philly ain't a choice, it's a way of life. Go Birds!
What's up, everyone? Welcome to this day in Philly Sports History for February 18th, 2026. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery. Welcome to a Wednesday edition of the podcast. Happy hump day to everyone out there. Let's get into it because we have one more day of the great winter sports void that is the Olympic and NBA All-Star break. The Union, though, will get it started tonight. They kick off the season in a CONCACAF Champions Cup matchup against Defender Force of the TT Premier Football League, which is in Trinidad and Tobago. Their MLS season gets started on Saturday. So we're slowly getting back into the rhythm and the flow of sports. So the Union kick off their season tonight in a CONCACAF Champions Cup matchup with Defender Force of the Trinidad and Tobago League. Is it Tobago or Tobago? I've heard it pronounced both ways, but either way, that's who they play tonight. Sixers don't return the action until tomorrow. Flyers still have another week or so off. So again, slowly getting there. The Phillies are in the midst of spring training. Rob Thompson did talk a little bit about Justin Crawford yesterday. It does look as though they're going to give him every opportunity to be the everyday center fielder. He essentially said he is the general out there. He makes the decisions, calls the balls and everything. So sure appears that he's going to be given every shot, which I think he should. At 22 years old, I think we've been talking a lot this past week or so about reset and things like that. And I think we need to reset ourselves as fans. With Justin Crawford, need to give him time to grow, allow him to make mistakes because they're going to come. I think I mentioned this before, but I was just reading a book a few weeks ago with my son. It was an older book, but it was on baseball, home run hitters, and Mike Schmidt, who is hands down the best Philly to ever play for the team, did not have a strong first season. So you got to be patient, understand that there's going to be bumps and bruises, and allow him to make them and learn from his mistakes. So one of the many reasons, many things I'm excited for here for Philly season. Yesterday's trivia question, we talked about the 1971 Villanova Wildcats. I asked who are the two Big Five teams they beat in the NCAA tournament that year. That would be St. Joe's and Penn, before ultimately losing to UCLA in the national final. Some quick housekeeping notes. Be sure to follow me on all social media platforms at Philly Jimbo. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Jimbo_Mont, and continue to spread the word as we grow this thing. Hard to believe we're almost gearing up for the end of February already. Yikes. All right, but it is Wednesday. It's time for a little What If Wednesday, brought to you by Lotwin. Go to lotwin.com, use the promo code TCCPOD to take 10% off of your order. Get a 3D custom hype chain. These things are great quality. They're awesome. They make baseball season is coming up. Basketball seasons are winding down. These things make good gifts for your players. Get one for your wife if you haven't gotten anything for Valentine's Day yet. She'll appreciate it. Or if you're a wife, get one for your husband. He'll appreciate it. But that is the sponsor of What If Wednesday. And going with another Phillies-themed What If Wednesday here and kind of tweaking the way we word it. It's been a lot the past week about Bryce Harper talking about Dave Dombrowski and the comments he made about not being elite. personally, I think a lot of people are making it way bigger than it has to be. And I've always tended to side on uh, the media is doing a job. Let them, like, they're a little over the line. But the fact that, like, are you Team Dombrowski or Team Harper? Like, what are we, in elementary school where you're doing surveys? It's ridiculous because I think Dave Dombrowski did not say anything that was wrong. Was his delivery off? Yeah, I said that when it first happened. But at the same time, Bryce can't get all butthurt about this because all he did was speak the truth. And you did not play elite. And now you can blame that on some of the people that or Dave Dombrowski put around you. That's fine. But to be doing, are you Team Dombrowski or are you Team Harper, is childish, immature, and just absolutely ridiculous. And to me, just furthers the narrative that you're looking for controversy here. And yes, I'm not saying it's not a story, but come on, man. You got to be better than that. But in honor of all that, we're going to take a look at what is the most likely outcome for Bryce Harper's season. Can he return to that elite level? He's getting up there in age. And, excuse me, I think it's a fair question. Again, I don't think what Dave Dombrowski said was out of line because he certainly wasn't elite. And I don't know if he's been elite consistently for a couple seasons now. But I do think, I don't know if this is elite, but I think at this point in his career, with the way this lineup is constructed, Bryce's ceiling is like 280, 290 hitting, 30, 35 home runs, 90 to 100 RBI, maybe should be competing for a gold glove at first base, but he absolutely needs protection in the lineup. So that means Alec Bohm, that means a Adolis Garcia, whoever needs to be protection for him, because if they know nobody's going to hit after him, why would they give him anything to pitch? And maybe that means moving Schwarber down in the lineup. I mean, the dude hit 56 home runs. Maybe pat him fourth. I mean, I come from a time, I know the analytics say different now, but I come from a time when your best home run hitter hit batted cleanup. So why not do that? Hit Trey Turner as leadoff. You can put someone at batting second and then Bryce at 3. I don't know. Maybe I'm old school like that, but I think that's the ceiling. I think the floor, and all of this is dependent, obviously, on him staying healthy, but the floor, I see he misses time with injuries. 250, 260, 20 homers, 60 to 75 RBIs. Obviously not an elite player. I don't know if 280, 290, and 35 home runs would classify as elite, but it's certainly better than what he was. But I think the floor, it's bad. Now, I don't know if, I think we're closer to the ceiling than we are the floor. I think, to me, the most likely scenario is like 270, 275, hitting, flirting with 30 home runs, 85, 90 RBI, a solid player, but certainly not elite. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope he comes out and proves me wrong. But what are your thoughts on Bryce Harper's seasons? Hit me up on the Back to the Future voice and text line 267-495-8531. Get that. Anything else Philly sports related off of your chest. But do you see him bouncing back? And I think we all would love to, but I got to see it. I need to see it. But that is What If Wednesday, brought to you by Lotwin. Go to Lotwin.com for your 3D custom hype chains and use that promo code TCCPOD to take 10% off of your order.
Hey guys, guess what time it is? It's cookie season. I'm Ella here, your favorite Girl Scout, and we have your oldies but goodies. Lemonades, Dimmits, peanut butter sandwiches, and more. This year we have a new cookie flavor called the Explore Mug. My goal is 200 boxes, so please make that happen. You're going to buy cookies anyway, so why not buy them from me?
All right, February 18th. First, we're going to go back to 1973. And on this day in 1973, the Flyers beat the North Stars 5-1 at the Spectrum. Rick McLeish with a goal and an assist. That goal broke Bobby Clark's team record of 35 goals in a season. He would extend that record to 50 by the end of the season, but Flyers winning at 5-1. Rick McLeish setting the Flyers single-season goal mark, breaking Bobby Clark's record of 35, mark that he would extend to 50 goals by the end of the season. That happened on this day in 1973, and does lead us into today's trivia question. 5 Flyers have scored 50 goals. Who are they? I've already given you one. But other than McLeish, who else has scored 50 goals for the Flyers in a season? Hit me up on the Back to the Future voice and text line 267-495-8531 or the Discord channel, which is in the description. But let me know, who are the other Flyers besides Rick McLeish to score 50 goals in a season? And then fast forward to 1983, the Sixers beat the Rockets 127-98 at the Spectrum. Moses Malone had 26 points and 13 rebounds, and in the process of scoring 26, scored the NBA's 4 millionth point. Who counts these things? Like, I just picture a guy with, because they didn't have Excel spreadsheets back then, I just picture a guy counting tally marks on a basketball scorebook. But Moses Malone, in the midst of the NBA strike talks, scored the NBA's 4 millionth ever point. And if you're wondering and keeping score at home, the NBA is now at 14 million points and counting. They crossed over the 14 million point mark last season. It's a lot of points, a lot of tally marks. And then finally, in 1999, the Flyers lose to the Canadiens 3-1 at the First Union Center. Eric Lindros scored the only goal for the Flyers, but it extended his personal point streak to 18 games, tying the Flyers record set by none other than Bobby Clark. Unfortunately for Eric and the Flyers, that's where it ended. So he and Bobby are still atop the individual personal point streak with 18 straight games scoring a point. Eric did it on this day in 1999 in a 3-1 loss to the Canadiens. And then finally today, our Black History Month Spotlight. We're going to go a little bit outside of Philly today and spotlight Calvin Grove, who is a boxer from my hometown of Coatesville. He's not Philly, but certainly forged by the Philadelphia area and the Philadelphia boxing scene, because Forged by Philly, to me, is not just within the city limits. We have so many other great athletes outside of the city limits. And it's, to me, Forged in Philly is about a mindset. And Calvin Grove certainly had this mindset. He was known for his toughness and power, his ring IQ, and helped lead him to the IBF Featherweight Championship. He has wins in his career over Hall of Famers and former champions alike, compiled a 49-10 record with 18 knockouts. But Calvin Grove, from my hometown in Coatesville, was forged by the Philly boxing culture, where skills get you noticed, toughness earns you respect. Coatesville is a steel town, and Calvin is as tough as steel, as tough as they come. So Calvin Grove is today's Black History Forged in Philly, in this case, the Philly area spotlight. Boxer, former IBF featherweight champion, has a lot of wins over Hall of Famers and champions alike. So shout out to you, Calvin. Make Coatesville proud. On this day in 1999, Flyers lose to the Canadiens 3-1. Eric Lindros scored the goal, extending his personal point streak to 18 games, where it would end, tying him with Bobby Clark for the Flyers' all-time lead. Moses Malone scored the NBA's 4 millionth point on this day in 1983. They are now over 14 million. Again, I want to know who is responsible for counting all the points in NBA history, and how do you do it? And then in 1973, Rick McLeish with a goal and assist in the Flyers' 5-1 win, passing Bobby Clark for the Flyers' single-season goal lead with 36. He would extend that to 50 by the end of the season. And then, of course, the trivia: who are the other Flyers to score 50 goals in a season? We have Sixers basketball tomorrow. Finally, we'll recap how the Union did in their CONCACAF Champions Cup match. I apologize for my voice. Both of my kids have been sick, and of course, lucky me, they gave it to me. So hopefully we'll be better tomorrow, filling up with vitamin C, airborne, and all that other good stuff to knock this thing out of me. This has been This Day in Philly Sports History for February 18th, 2026. My name is Jim Montgomery. Go have yourselves a hump day. And until next time, I'll see you when I see you.